Rekod bangun. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Dengan izin Ya Arif, prosiding pendengaran penerimaan masuk Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya pada hari ini 10 Disember 2020 dijalankan secara sidang video Zoom atas persetujuan semua pihak berikutan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan Bersyarat PKPB. Hakim yang bersidang pada hari ini adalah Yang Arif Dato Ahmad Kamal bin Muhammad Shahid, Hakim Mahkamah Tinggi Bahagian Kuasa-Kuasa Khas BKK 1. Saya ingin mengingatkan semua supaya kekal di kedudukan masing-masing dan tidak menutup video walaupun setelah selesai giliran. Dipohon wakil-wakil yang hadir pada hari ini bagi pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur, Selangor untuk memperkenalkan diri.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Syahmin Amizah binti Abu Bakar, Peguam Kanan Persekutuan hadir pada hari ini bagi mewakili pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Arif, Alex Cheng for the Bar Council.
Yang Arif, saya S. Sarwana Kumar mewakili Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur.
Terima kasih. Seterusnya saya akan memanggil nombor petisyen. Apabila petisyen dipanggil, pempetisyen diminta berdiri dan memperkenalkan diri. Kemudian peguam pengusul mover akan membacakan latar belakang. Pempetisyen pertama, WA 18-801-2020.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Sanjay Nathan Viswanathan, pempetisyen pertama.
Dengan izin Ya Arif, saya Fahri Azad bagi pihak pempetisyen. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya pun telah diperkenalkan sendiri tadi. Dan Ya Arif, saya pohon untuk berterusan dalam bahasa Inggeris, Ya Arif.
Dibenarkan.
My Lord, the petitioner is the elder of the two sons of Mr. M. Viswanathan and Madam Ong Pue Hyo. My Lord, there are many paths to the practice of law. Some of us come here because of parental expectations, some because they don't know what to do, and others because of a natural inclination to study law, my Lord. And then there are those who are born and bred for the practice of law. I would count the petitioner in this group, my Lord. The initial impetus for law was obviously the deft efforts of the petitioner's father, Mr. M. Viswanathan, who himself is a senior, articulate, and selfless lawyer known for his campaigning efforts for edict, eliminating death and abuse in custody together. My Lord, the petitioner told me, I was exposed to the legal profession and the law since a very young age, and I owe this to my father. He used to regale us with tales of his exploits in court and stories of client meetings ranging from the hilarious to the truly horrendous. It was clear from the petitioner's account that even as Mr. Viswanathan was seducing the petitioner into a career of law, my Lord, he fulfilled his duty to give full and frank disclosure as well. Though I'm acquainted with Mr. Viswanathan's good work than I am with the man himself, I have little hesitation in describing him as a good man doing good work, my Lord. He's both an inspiration and example to myself as well. My Lord, the petitioner has clearly a good pedigree for the law. How could he not with a fantastic role model such as his father in law and in life? His attitude for the practice of law, my Lord, was properly calibrated and remains in place. The petitioner says he understood the legal profession was a profession that provided a service. Lawyers are problem solvers. We provide solution to legal problems that a client has. I learned that there was a distinction between a service and a business. It was only when I started my pupillage journey that I discovered otherwise. That the petitioner thinks the legal profession is one of service instead of a business is a heartening one and will swell the ranks of those that think alike, my lord. My lord, the petitioner is one of those I think of as an all-rounder type of person. Not only is he blessed with natural good looks, during his time with the Methodist Boys Secondary School, he was head prefect, sports captain for his house, as well as doing editorial work for his school magazine, my lord. At Cardiff University, where he completed his Bachelor of Laws, he featured often in the Malaysian student cultural shows. And he also appears to be one of those whom good academic grades is a matter of expectation, not hope. My lord, in his CV, under the title Other Work Experience, the petitioner says he worked as a waiter for 5 months at a restaurant called Jalan Malaysia in Cardiff between November 2017 to March 2018, my lord. In that time, the petitioner not only took orders and dealt with customers, but he also had to clean toilets and the bar area, in addition to managing accounts for monies received until the end of the shift, my lord. I contend, my lord, that with that job, the petitioner received excellent training for the law. He learned how to take instructions properly from clients. My lord, he also got a taste of the common legal work he would be undertaking, other people's smelly and messy business, fancifully distributed by a ceiling fan across the room, my lord. And being a fiduciary position for a laughable fee, my lord, all well within a lawyer's field. In addition to that, my lord, the petitioner had a short internship with my firm and the firm of Messrs. Chan Yen Hui in 2017 prior to commencing his pupillage with Mr. K. Shanmuga at Messrs. Kanasalingam & Co., my lord. In the petitioner's short time with me at the firm, I know him to be a diligent, curious, thoughtful, and intelligent young man. His parents have done a wonderful job in inculcating the right attitude and values in him, which I know to be a boon both to the bar and the bench, my lord. When I asked him what he wanted to accomplish in his legal career, he said, I'd like to make my parents proud and to be well off enough to ensure that they would be able to live the rest of their lives comfortably. I spoke about change earlier, and in this current political climate, I'm even considering being an MP down the road. But most importantly, as my mother always says, we are here to serve. That is your purpose in life. You help others in need to the best of your ability. And I intend to live by that principle, so the petitioner says. My lord, I resonate entirely with the petitioner's mother on that. The life of a lawyer is in the service of others, my lord, not the lawyer's own interests. I would like to believe if we took that as our starting point to our work, outlook in life and in law, the rest takes care of itself. My lord, on the strength of that statement of the petitioners alone, I feel confident in submitting that the petitioner possesses the required good character to be a fit and proper person to be called to the bar, my lord. I believe his time under my good friend, Mr. Shanmuga, was undoubtedly fruitful and an enlightening period, my lord. I have known Mr. K. Shanmuga since we were called to the bar on the same day and know him to be an excellent lawyer. And although we are peers, he has always served as a role model of the kind of lawyer I aspire to, my lord. My lord, I would also say 9 months with Shanmuga is akin to at least 3 years of an undergraduate degree. However, in the petitioner's words, unfortunately, a big chunk of my pupillage was spent at home during COVID and MCO. I felt that I missed out a lot in terms of real-world legal experience, especially considering the fact that K. Shanmuga was my master. However, I enjoyed my time at Kanasalingam & Co. and truthfully, I wish I was retained so that I could continue to develop my skills. My lord, I want to reassure the petitioner that the feeling where Mr. K. Shanmuga and the other partner, Mr. Jayakumar, are entirely mutual. My lord, the present pandemic made starting and building a legal career much more challenging, simply because legal work has become scarce and fees even scarcer and if not more miserable than before. And now there are so much fewer places for the many. My lord, in such a climate, only those with the required skill set, attitudes, and right network will survive the culling to come. And I have every faith the petitioner will be amongst the survivors to flourish from that. My lord, the petitioner would like to thank his parents, who are his only role models. And he says, my lord, they continue to inspire us with their principles and dedication in whatever it is they do. I hope my children will say that of me much later on, my lord. He also wants to extend his thanks to his younger brother, Pushan Kin Nathan, and his friends at the university, at the bar, and everyone at Masias Kanasilingam and Co. for their support, comradeship, and guidance, my lord. My lord, I submit that the petitioner's cause papers are in order, that my learned friends will have no objection to their petition, and I pray that the petitioner be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor in the High Court of Malaya. I'm obliged, my lord.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
My lord, since the petitioner has already worked at the bar in Cardiff and learned how to take instruction properly, the Bar Council have no objections, my lord.
Pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Sanjay Nathan Viswanathan untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
I'm obliged, my lord. Thank you. May I now seek leave for the petitioner to robe himself, my lord? I'm obliged.
Dibenarkan.
Thank you, my lord.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Pepetisyen kedua WA 182801/2020.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Nadia Aiman binti Nazri, Pempetisyen yang kedua.
M2.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Latifah Koya mewakili pihak Pempetisyen Nadia Aiman binti Nazri. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya, pihak daripada Jabatan Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Negara dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur yang telah diperkenalkan sebelum ini. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya teruskan dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dibenarkan.
Yang Arif, admission to the bar is an old and hallowed tradition. Its procedures and rituals are solemn and full of meaning. Today, this process is being carried out virtually in a way previously quite unimaginable to any of us. Yet, this once-in-a-lifetime event for these young lawyers carries just as much meaning and value to them and their families, as well as all of us involved in the administration of justice. With this, allow me to introduce the petitioner. She was born in Subang Jaya, first born to Mr. Nazri Harun and Miss Intan Zubaida Kamaruzzaman. She was lovingly raised by them and by her grandmother, Miss Kamaria Haji Abdul Rauf, in her big and jovial family in Shah Alam. The petitioner's mother read law in the University of Hull and was in fact expecting the petitioner while she herself was a pupil in Chambers. Growing up, the petitioner was always in awe with her mother's courageous personality, and in particular, how her legal knowledge helped her defend and empower herself and others. With this in mind, the petitioner decided to read law in the University of Malaya in 2014. After sweat and tears and several debating and mooting competitions, in 2018, she graduated with honours. She obtained a Master's in Law in the University of East Anglia, England in 2019, specialising in intellectual property law and information technology. She underwent pupillage at Messrs. Edwin Lim and Suren under the tutelage of N. Surendran, who with much patience and care gave her plenty of books on philosophy and the law, and through lunchtime conversations taught her the importance of living fearlessly and to constantly strive to do good. The petitioner expresses her thank yous to her support system, to her sisters, Billy, Didi, Naz, and brother Irfan. Thank you for being endless beacons of joy. To her wonderful family and family friends, thank you for supporting and cheering her on from day one. To all her teachers, professors, mentors, it was a pleasure and a privilege to have been their student. To her dearest friends of every stage of life, thank you for encouraging her to chase her dreams and to believe in herself. A special thank you to Eric, Jana, Lily, Dee, Isaiah, Agnes, and colleagues for being there for her and for all the help along the years. And last but not least, to her parents, Mr. Nazri and Miss Intan, she would like to thank you from the bottom of her heart for everything you've done for her. In her own words, you are the best parents anybody could have. I believe the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I believe her papers are in order, and I do believe that the representatives from the AZ's chambers, the Malaysian Bar, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee have no objections. I therefore pray that the petitioner be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
No objections, my lord.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Nadia Aiman binti Nazri untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Much obliged, Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, we seek leave for the petitioner to self-robe herself.
Dibenarkan.
Much obliged, my lord.
Okey, sama-sama.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Petisyen ketiga, WA 18-110-01-2020.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Yao Winyan, Pempetisyen ketiga.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Yo Jit Wei, saya hadir bagi pihak pempetisyen Yao Winyan pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya dari Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur yang telah pun diperkenalkan tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran untuk melanjutkan ucapan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dibenarkan.
My Lord, may I introduce the petitioner Yao Winyan. The petitioner, known to her friends as Giselle, was born in Seremban, Negeri Sembilan on the 4th December 1995 and is the eldest child of Dato Dr. Yao Chai Tiang and Datin Chua Lei Ping. The petitioner's brother, Yao Xiao Heng, is currently studying accounting and finance at University of Exeter. The petitioner's father was a medical doctor. Everyone, including the young petitioner herself, was convinced that one day she would follow her father's footsteps. At the age of 17, to maximize her chances in entering a medical school, the petitioner went to the United Kingdom for her A-levels. The petitioner interned at Norwich Hospital and sat in during surgical operations. The petitioner was not afraid of blood and needles, but having developed a sincere interest in the legal profession, the petitioner followed her heart to pursue law instead. The petitioner read law at Queen Mary University of London. However, her journey was not a smooth-sailing one. The petitioner lost her father 3 months after starting her first year of university Nonetheless, the petitioner believed that although she could not control the event that happened to her, she could make the decision not to be reduced by it. Hence, she continued to work hard and persevered through the adversities and subsequently graduated from Queen Mary University of London. The petitioner thereafter studied the bar professional training course at City University of London and was called to the Bar of England and Wales through the Honourable Society of Lincoln's Inn. Lee Shamuddin Allen and Gledhill was the first firm that the petitioner applied to, where the petitioner was offered a pupil position after her first interview. During the interview, the petitioner was asked what she would do in face of difficult times. The petitioner answered that instead of becoming disheartened, she would stay positive and learn from every experience. The petitioner abode by her answer throughout the 9 months of her pupillage. My lord, the petitioner started as a pupil under the tutelage of Miss Ho I Ting and subsequently worked under Miss Bela Chu Chai and Mr. Vijay Kumar. She was exposed to different types of cases, from land and telecommunication disputes to corporate matters. The petitioner went through a steep learning curve, but her exposure at the firm has sharpened her skill needed to be a detail-oriented lawyer. The petitioner would like to seize this opportunity to thank her pupil master, Miss Ho I Ting, for her guidance and encouragement whenever the petitioner feels insecure about her abilities. The petitioner would also like to extend appreciation to all the partners and associates in the firm, in particular Miss Bela Chu, Miss Vijay Kumar and Aaron Ma, for their invaluable advice and forgiveness over the petitioner's shortcomings. The petitioner would also like to thank her best friend Sean Tan for being there for her through the high and lows since the first day of university. The petitioner would also like to thank her long-standing friends Ashwaya, Kaisen, Izamir and Hazwan, all of whom hold a very special place in the petitioner's heart, for standing by the petitioner through difficult times. Further, the petitioner would like to extend gratitude to her pupil mates Adeline, Colleen, Tivia and Tiffany, and her Monday Legal Aid batchmates Celine, Jane, Jiahao and Xinghui for being a huge source of support to the petitioners throughout her pupillage. Finally, the petitioner would like to record her deepest thanks to her mother, who is also her biggest inspiration, Datin Chua Lei Peng, for all the sacrifices that she has made to help the petitioner excel in life. The petitioner's mother is the strongest woman that she knows, and the petitioner wishes to take this opportunity today to express that she is forever grateful for her mother's unconditional love and support. The petitioner would also like to thank her father for being her protector and hopes that she made him very proud today. Further, the petitioner wishes to thank her grandparents, her brother, uncles and aunts for taking care of her. The petitioner hopes that her family is proud of her achievement, as she would not have come this far without their love and care. My lord, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor. I believe all papers are in order and that my learned friends from the Attorneys General Chambers, the Bar Council and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objection to this motion. I humbly move this Honourable Court to admit and enroll the petitioner, Ms. Yao Wen Yen, as advocate and solicitor of the High Court in Malaya.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
No objections, my lord.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Yao Wen Yen untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran untuk pempetisyen memakaikan jubah sendiri.
Okay, dibenarkan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Petisyen keempat, WA 18-2200-12-2019.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Lawi, Pempetisyen keempat.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Ong Kei Song hadir bagi pihak Pempetisyen Lau Pui Yi. Turut hadir adalah rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Yang Berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur seperti yang telah diperkenalkan sebentar tadi. Yang Arif, saya meminta izin mahkamah untuk meneruskan prosiding dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dibenarkan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. My Lord, the petitioner was born in Kuala Lumpur on the 6th of November 1996, and since then she has been under the care of her grandfather, Mr. Lau Siu Fok, and her grandmother, Madam Ng Siu Keng. My Lord, the petitioner completed her primary education in SJKC Shun Jin and thereafter received her secondary education in Shun Jin High School. The petitioner read law under the University of London external program where she graduated with second-class honours upper division in year 2018. She then proceeded to take CLP certificate in legal practice examination and passed the exam in year 2019. The petitioner commenced her pupillage at Messrs. Ghazi and Lim in December 2019 under the guidance of Mr. Ku Beng Leng. On her admittance today in this honourable court, the petitioner wishes to take the opportunity to express her deepest gratitude to the following people, my Lord. First, to her grandparents. The petitioner would like to thank them for the unconditional love and support throughout the journey. To her grandmother, Madam Ng Siu Keng, the petitioner would like to express her utmost respect for her. She is the strongest and most incredible woman the petitioner has ever seen, and she has always been the role model for her. She was not given a chance in education during her young age. Therefore, the grandmother was determined to provide the petitioner an opportunity to the best education that the petitioner needs. The petitioner thanks her for raising the petitioner, educating her, and showering her with loves, and showing her that strength could be found in a woman, and this has inspired the petitioner to believe that she is capable of achieving something great. To her grandfather, Mr. Lau Siu Fok, the petitioner thanks him for all the advices and love given. The petitioner would like to thank her grandfather for pointing out her mistakes and reminding her to learn from the mistakes. Once again, the petitioner wishes to thank her grandparents for showering her with immense love and support ever since she became a part of their family. She would not have been able to come this far without them. The petitioner promises that she will take good care of herself, and now it is her turn to be their protector. Secondly, to her aunt, Madam Kamal Lau Yin Man. The petitioner would like to thank her for always taking care of her and treating the petitioner as her own daughter. She is a strong and independent woman, and the petitioner sincerely admires and respects her for that. She has always been the petitioner's guardian angel, and the petitioner is of utmost grateful for her being her niece. Next, the petitioner would like to thank her master, Mr. Ku, for the advices given to the petitioner during her pupillage. The petitioner sincerely wishes that she would live up to her master's expectation and would flourish in her practice. The practitioner would like to thank all the seniors and other colleagues that she has worked with at Ghazi and Lim for their guidance and kindness. The petitioner would like to also thank her fellow pupils in chambers, Shima, Esther, Aisling, and Atika, for always being there for her. To Shima, the petitioner will always cherish the memories they made together, and the petitioner is grateful to have her as the petitioner's desk mate throughout her pupillage. To the petitioner, the memories made in Ghazi and Lim are priceless, and she will always remember these persons who have made her life a memorable one. The petitioner will also like to thank her friends, Carol, Huero, and Sini, for being the best college mates she would ever ask for. The petitioner would also like to thank Ada, Kai Wei, Kuro, Richie, and Shi Hao for always being there for her since high school. The petitioner would also like to take this opportunity to thank Suk Chin for being there for her throughout her CLP and pupillage. She kept on encouraging the petitioner, and she believes that the petitioner is capable of overcoming challenges even when the petitioner has lost confidence in herself, and also to give petitioner strength to get through hard times. The petitioner wishes to let her know that the petitioner will always stand firm behind her no matter what happens. The petitioner would like to express her gratefulness to be surrounded by these kind souls, and that she wishes for the best for all her friends. My Lord, I verily believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. And I believe that all the course papers are in order, and my learned friends from the Attorney General Chambers, the Bar Council, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee have no objection to this petition. Accordingly, I respectfully pray for this court to grant an order that the petitioner Lau Pui Yi to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honorable court.
Ada bantahan ya, Arif?
No objections, my Lord, from the Bar Council.
Tiada bantahan yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Lau Pui Yi untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin, saya memohon kebenaran mahkamah yang mulia ini untuk Pempetisyen Lau Pui Yi untuk menjubahkan diri sendiri.
Dibenarkan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Petisyen kelima WA18-1901-11/2019.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Yong Su-an, Pempetisyen kelima.
Dengan izin Yang Arif. Nama saya GK Ganesan dan saya mewakili pihak Pempetisyen Yong Su-an pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing mewakili badan-badan berkenaan telah pun diperkenalkan tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, dengan hati yang rendah, saya memohon supaya diberi kebenaran untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dibenarkan.
If it may please my Lord, may I with your leave introduce your humble petitioner, Yong Su-an. She is the youngest of 3 children of Mr. Yung Kok Fai and his Scottish beloved, Madam Caroline Fleming. After her A-levels, the petitioner graduated with a Bachelor of Laws degree with a second-class upper honors degree from the University of Cardiff in the year 2018. She is an avid reader, and therefore it is no surprise that she pursued her bar at the City University, where she received that very favorable, very competent merit, which is very difficult to get, my Lord, by the way. In October of 2019, the petitioner was called to the Bar of England and Wales, and thereafter she commenced her pupillage under the tutelage of my learned friend Dato Manjit Singh Sachdev of Messrs. Manjit Singh Sachdev, Mohammad Razi and partners. My Lord, I ask your permission to say a few words about her master. He is an ex-fighter pilot, and it is said the left side of Jalan Raja Laut belongs to him. But that is not why he is very famous. He is compassionate, he is soft-spoken, He's courteous, and most importantly, he is an excellent teacher. He's patient and considerate. And I think, seeing how he teaches his student, I think Suan has been very lucky to have him as a master. My Lord, a scripture that you and I and everybody else in court today is familiar with says, the doors to heaven lie at the feet of one's parents. Shakespeare said, the voice of parents is the voice of gods, for to their children, they are heaven's lieutenants. And so it is not surprising that the petitioner expresses the utmost gratitude to her parents for their unwavering support and love, without which she would be nothing, she says. And she says no words can express how thankful she is to her parents for all this sacrifice. She thanks her pupil master, Dato Manjit Singh Sachdev, for his trust and his willingness to teach and share his knowledge. The petitioner cannot thank her family and friends enough. My Lord, I'm an old man, and I ask your permission to say a few words to all the pupils who are assembled here, who will in a minute become fully fledged lawyers. This is not a profession for the faint-hearted. This is a profession that will test your conscience every single minute of the day. It is where you will subordinate your exhaustion for the benefit of your client. You must say no to your client more often than you say yes. And you must examine your conscience every minute. If you're not willing to work hard for long hours for which you will receive not a word of thanks, then find something else to do that you like. Without passion, you will shrivel in this profession. Do your country proud, do your parents proud, stand firm, stand fast. Don't seek to be popular, don't seek to be rich, always be honorable, respect the court. Even if everyone around you is rude, be courteous to the extreme. If you need an example, I will cite two men who have influenced everything I do in my life. The first is my beloved friend and mentor, Raja Aziz Adrus, and that great man, the ex-Supreme Court judge, the late Dato George Sia. If we emulate these men, I think the bar and the bench will benefit so much from people like you who now will make the bar the place it has been all these years. My Lord, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honorable court. I believe that the petitioner's papers are in order and that my learned friends from the relevant statutory bodies have no violent objections to this petition. I therefore respectfully and humbly pray to my Lord that the petitioner Yung Suan be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I am obliged, my Lord.
Ada bantahan Yang Arif?
No objections, my Lord.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Yang Suan untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
My Lord, may I ask the court's permission for the petitioner to robe herself?
Dibenarkan,
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
I am obliged, my Lord.
Sama.
Petisyen ke-6 WA 18-2088-12-2019.
Yang izin Ya Arif, Awilo bagi pihak pempetisyen Ting Shi Ching pada hari ini. Sorry, am I supposed to? No, sorry.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Ting Si Chin, Pempetisyen ke-6.
My apologies, Yang Arif, if I may restart my speech. Dengan izin Yang Arif, Erwin Law bagi pihak Pempetisyen, rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing telah pun diperkenalkan terlebih dahulu bagi pihak yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan juga Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin memohon kebenaran untuk berujar dalam bahasa English.
Dibenarkan.
Much obliged, my lord. My lord, this is saying by George Savile, the first Marquess of Halifax, not the footballer in the UK, and the saying is this: if the law could speak for themselves, they would complain about the lawyers. And yet here we are today. There are so many of us, so many of the petitioners here trying to get themselves admitted to the bar to become lawyers. In my view, I think it's either one, they are either not of the sound mind and therefore should not be admitted to the bar, or I think there must be something that we are doing right in upholding the integrity of the legal profession. And I think I would like to think it's the former, I mean the later in this case. Now about the petitioner in this case here, my lord, Ting Shi-Ching, born on 13 February 1995 in Sarawak, Cebu, is the fourth child of Mr. Ting Leong Wui and Mrs. Wong Yok Seng. The petitioner had her early education in SJKC Tiong Hin before continuing her secondary education in SMK Tiong Hin and SMK Sacred Heart. Since the petitioner was 15, unlike most of us, she has set her mind on becoming a lawyer. She aspires to provide legal representations to those disadvantaged by poverty and use the law as a tool to protect the vulnerable groups in the society. Like I said, unlike most of us, people like me will probably start thinking about it at the age of 12, but Mr. Ganesan and Yang Arif will probably start thinking about that at the age of 5. But jokes aside, after a 10-year struggle, the petitioner's hard work pays off and she has finally become the first lawyer in the Ting's family. The petitioner read law in the University of Malaya and graduated with a law degree in 2019. Upon the completion of her degree, the petitioner commenced her pupillage in Mrs. H.K. Ang and Partners under the tutelage of Mrs. Lim Yin Shan. On this day of admission, the petitioner wishes to take this opportunity to express her utmost gratitude to her family. She would like to thank her parents for their unwavering love and support and encouragement and being there with her throughout the ups and downs of her life. No words can express how thankful the petitioner is to her parents for their love and sacrifices. The petitioner would also like to thank her siblings for their unconditional support. The petitioner would like to thank her pupil master, Ms. Lim Yishan, for providing her with opportunities and guidance throughout her pupillage. The petitioner would also like to especially thank her friends, Ms. Ho Yun Lee and Ms. Lim Shuat Yi, for being there to make her tough times more bearable. The petitioner has in fact thanked me in her speech, but I have chosen to omit that part of the speech as I deem this is our utmost duty to serve the bar, the petitioner, as well as a pupil master in this case. Last but not least, the petitioner would also like to thank her colleague, Mr. Alan Ng, for making her experience there a memorable one. Without them, the journey of her pupillage would not be the same. My lord, I believe the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honorable court, notwithstanding her desire of wanting to become a lawyer. I believe all the petitioner's papers are in order and that my learned friends from the Attorney General Chambers, the Bar Council, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectfully have no objections to this motion. On that note, my Lord, I pray that the petitioner be admitted and enrolled as an advocate solicitor of the High Court of Malaya.
Ada bantahan Yang Arif?
No objections, my Lord.
Ada bantahan Yang Arif?
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Ting Shi Ching untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
I'm obliged, my Lord. If we leave of this court, if I may ask permission for the petitioner to robe herself.
Dibenarkan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
I'm obliged, my Lord.
Sama-sama.
Petition terakhir WA 18-2094 12/2019.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Nur Hafizah Syazana binti Abdul Karim, Pempetisyen ke-7.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Muhammad Khainis bin Yusof hadir bagi pihak Pempetisyen ke-7 Nur Hafizah Syazana binti Abdul Karim dan rakan-rakan bijaksana saya mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur seperti yang telah diperkenalkan sebelum ini. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya mohon untuk memperkenalkan Pempetisyen ke-7 Yang Arif. Pempetisyen telah dilahirkan pada 26 Mei 1996 di Batu Pahat, Johor. Beliau merupakan anak bongsu daripada 13 orang adik-beradik. Beliau seterusnya telah melanjutkan pelajaran di peringkat asasi di Fakulti Undang-Undang UiTM dan kemudian telah dianugerahkan ijazah sarjana muda undang-undang dari Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia pada 2019. Setelah tamat pengajian, Pempetisyen telah memulakan latihan dalam kamar di bawah bimbingan Dato Wira Lim Kim Ki di Ketuan KK Lim. Di situ, beliau telah didedahkan dengan litigasi sivil serta undang-undang insolvensi. Yang Arif, pada hari yang bermakna ini, Pempetisyen ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan kepada kedua arwah ibu bapanya, iaitu Allahyarham Abdul Karim dan Allahyarhamah Satimah, serta ahli keluarganya atas sokongan, kasih sayang dan bimbingan yang tidak berbelah bahagi. Pempetisyen percaya, walaupun kedua ibu bapanya tidak berada di sini untuk menyaksikan pencapaiannya, doa dan ingatan Pempetisyen tidak putus kepada mereka. Selanjutnya Yang Arif, Pempetisyen juga ingin merakamkan jutaan terima kasih dan penghargaan kepada individu-individu berikut. Yang pertama, Datuk Wira Lim Kim Ki atas bimbingan, nasihat dan kepercayaan beliau yang telah diberikan. Seterusnya, Pempetisyen juga merakamkan jutaan terima kasih kepada rakan-rakan sekerja di Ketuan KK Lim, terutamanya Encik Ismat, Aiman, Hana dan Suhaimi. Pempetisyen juga ingin merakamkan penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada keluarga Encik Zainal bin Abdul Rahim dan keluarga Dr. Jelani atas kasih sayang bimbingan yang telah diberikan. Seterusnya kepada pensyarah-pensyarah, guru-guru serta sahabat baik beliau. Ya Arif, saya percaya Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976. dan segala surat cara adalah teratur. Saya juga percaya rakan-rakan bijaksana saya dari ketiga-tiga badan berkenaan tidak mempunyai sebarang bantahan. Dengan rendah diri Yang Arif, saya pohon kepada Mahkamah yang mulia ini agar Pempetisyen Nur Hafizah Shazana binti Abdul Karim diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Our counsel have no objections, my lord.
Tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Nur Hafizah Shazana binti Abdul Karim untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Yang Arif, saya pohon kebenaran mahkamah ini untuk Pempetisyen menyarungkan jubahnya sendiri.
Dibenarkan.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Arif.
Masya Allah Yang Arif.
Semua 7 petisyen telah selesai. Terima kasih kepada semua wakil 3 badan berkenaan dan pengusul dan tahniah kepada semua pempetisyen yang telah didaftarai sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Seterusnya, ucapan Yang Arif Hakim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan selamat pagi. Saya ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada wakil-wakil daripada yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan peguam-peguam pengusul yang telah sudi hadir di majlis perbicaraan petisyen penerimaan masuk sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara yang ditetapkan di hadapan saya sebentar tadi secara dalam talian melalui sidang video yang disiarkan secara langsung. Tidak juga saya lupakan untuk mengucapkan syabas dan tahniah kepada tenaga-tenaga pengajar, masters dan firma-firma Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara yang telah berjaya mendidik dan membimbing pempetisyen sehingga menjadi peguam pada pagi ini. Sanjay Naden Vizwanaden, Nadia Aiman binti Nazri, Yao Win Yen, Lau Pui, Yang Suan, Ting Shi Ching dan Nur Hafizah Shazana binti Abdul Karim. Di kesempatan ini, saya ingin merakamkan ucapan syabas dan tahniah kepada semua pempetisyen yang telah sebentar tadi diterima masuk dan didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Kita semua sedia maklum bahawa sebelum ini kita pernah menonton Sukan Olimpik, perlawanan bola sepak Piala Dunia, perlawanan badminton All England dan lain-lain peristiwa dan acara dunia yang disiarkan secara langsung. Namun pada pagi ini, perbicaraan petisyen penerimaan masuk Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya juga dibuat secara langsung yang disiarkan live daripada YouTube dan dapat disaksikan di seluruh pelosok dunia. Bagi semua pempetisyen, anda adalah kelompok ataupun batch yang terawal yang diterima masuk sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya secara norma baru yang dibuat dalam talian melalui sidang video yang dapat ditonton di seluruh dunia. Bagi wakil-wakil daripada ketiga-tiga badan yang berkenaan dan peguam-peguam pengusul yang pertama kali hadir untuk mengusul Pempetisyen di perbicaraan kita pada hari ini. Saya percaya juga ini merupakan juga kali pertama bagi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan untuk hadir di sidang penerimaan masuk Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya yang dibuat secara live. Ini bukanlah pertama kali bagi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan untuk membuat sidang perbicaraan secara live melalui video. Kerana saya percaya sebelum ini bagi para peguam yang telah hadir pernah membuat perbicaraan secara live melalui video. Tetapi bagi penerimaan masuk petisyen Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, ini merupakan kali pertama. Oleh itu, ia bukan saja melakarkan sejarah bagi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan semua, tapi juga merupakan hari ini dalam sejarah bagi sejarah kehakiman dan perundangan negara. Kerana inilah julung-julung kalinya perbicaraan petisyen penerimaan masuk Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara diadakan secara melalui dalam talian yang disiarkan secara live oleh Badan Kehakiman Malaysia. Selanjutnya, sebagai tradisi, izinkan saya untuk memberi sepatah dua kata bagi meraihkan majlis kita yang berbahagia pada pagi ini. May I take this opportunity again to congratulate you on your admission as advocates and solicitors of the High Court of Malaya. I'm sure each and every one of you feel so relieved that the whole ceremony is over and that you have been robed to mark your admission into this noble profession. Today is a momentous day for all of you. It marks not the end of your pupillage, but rather the beginning of your professional life as a lawyer. This is a very special and privileged moment in the life of any new lawyer. Today is the beginning of a whole vista of opportunities in this honorable profession, a profession which carries with it rights involving heavy obligations and empowering responsibilities. The success you have achieved in being admitted to the High Court of Malaya today is not yours alone. A special tribute must be given to your families, particularly your parents, who, in one way or another, be it financially or otherwise, supported you and gave you their succor as you endeavor to become a lawyer. It may be fair to say your achievements are in some ways their achievements. Please take this opportunity after this ceremony to thank them for their support and their patience. Ladies and gentlemen, the bar is a demanding profession. In order to achieve success, apart from ability, strong determination and firm commitment are required. Through years of hard and dedicated work, you have achieved this milestone in your life. This is only the beginning, and there is a lot more to explore and acquire before you can call yourself a successful lawyer. As advocates and solicitors, you have a crucial role to play in maintaining the highest professional standards and shaping the future of the Malaysian bar. It is a duty of the bar and the judiciary to uphold the rule of law. Strive not only to be a good lawyer, but an outstanding one. On that note, let me conclude by congratulating all of you on your admission to the bar. I wish you every success in your chosen career and happiness. Stay home, stay safe. Kita jaga kita. Jangan leka dan alqua. Kita teguh, kita menang. Sekian, terima kasih. Court is now adjourned.
Bangun.